想いして切なくなるけど It's a miracle heart 会いたい気持ちだけが素直にさせる Baby catch me catch me catch me 掴めて kiss me kiss me kiss me 今すぐ touch me touch me 離さないで love me love me 抱きしめて
Oh shit, you guys are still here? Well, hi, and welcome back to my channel. As you may have noticed, there's been a tiny overhaul in the time I've been gone. New channel name, new banner, new icon. I even got a new name and pronouns. I'm Rags, short for Ragamuffin, she, they. I fully expect the channel art and stuff to change again in the new year, but for now, I'm happy with it. It's been a while, huh? July 15th? Oh geez, I can't even blame that on the new school year like I was going to originally. I just straight up dropped off the face of YouTube for upwards of 5 months. In fairness, I do have some videos where the art is ready to go, I just haven't written and recorded them yet. So if I've been gone for so long, I must have lots of cool, interesting things to say about where I've been and all the art I've been doing. I'm sure I've done all kinds of art in 5 whole months. It sure would be great to share all the pictures I've drawn and strides I've made in regards to my art skills in the last few months. Anyway, want to hear me talk about NaNoWriMo for 10 minutes? National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, is a writing challenge where participants challenge themselves to write a 50,000-word novel in 30 days. It's been running since 1999, according to their website, but I only started attempting the challenge in 2014, a couple of years after I heard about it for the first time in college. Unfortunately, I went through a phase where I would delete my challenges on the website if I didn't complete them, so I'll never actually know what my early works were. I remember trying to write a few early drafts of my original story Hero Complex prior to this one from 2018, but thanks to my hubris, I'll never know for sure. Anyway, this year, 2021, I actually won Nano for the first time ever. Yeah, it took me a whole 7 years, sometimes with multiple attempts. Last year, I did both regular Nano in November and Camp Nano in July. Same story, same challenge. I got 5 days in and fell off the wagon. I'm extremely prone to starting big projects and never finishing them. Besides my several Nano attempts, I've also tried and failed OC-tober multiple times, not to mention the various video game Let's Play series I've tried over the years. I'm working hard to make sure the Great Precure Watching doesn't go the same way, but it's a conscious struggle. On top of all that, November is a tricky month for me. Not only is it the lead up to Christmas, but it also tends to be a really busy month at work for some reason, and my birthday is in November. That's part of the reason I tried Camp Nano in July this year. Because I work at a school, I have the summer off, and with the whole ongoing global catastrophe being a thing, I didn't exactly have any big plans. So that's a great time to take on a huge challenge that takes a lot of time and energy, right? Well, no, because I still lost Camp Nano. It turns out that the time of year Nano takes place in actually has very little to do with my ability to complete the challenge. This summer was a struggle to get me motivated to do just about anything. That's why my last video was in July too, and that's around the time I stopped posting art regularly. There wasn't any real reason for it, I was just struggling to get motivated. I spent most of my summer playing The Sims 3 and Stardew Valley, and reading Witch, and stressing about the fact that by that time next year I wouldn't have a job. Wow, I wonder why it was hard to motivate myself to do anything. Something good did come from that though. I realized that, like I said, time of year has basically nothing to do with my ability to complete Nano. It was entirely in my own head. I just had to have a project I was passionate about and confident in, a huge amount of advanced planning, and the drive to sit down and write every day. The project I wound up working on was my Precure fan series, Yo-Ho-Ho Pirate Pretty Cure, which I'm drawing the logo for right now. I actually didn't even finish it, to be honest. 50,000 words, and I got most of the way through chapter 11 of a planned 48. But that's 50,000 more words than I would have had otherwise. So let me tell you about a few things I tried over the course of November that worked for me. This stuff may or may not actually work for you. No two people write the same way, but this is just what I did. Number 1. Write in a notebook, not on a screen. This one had its pros and cons, and definitely isn't for everybody. There were days when my hand hurt by the end because I'd spent so long writing, especially the days when I wrote over 2K. My handwriting is also pretty messy unless I'm specifically trying to write neatly, so it's basically illegible to anyone who isn't me. I also had to manually count all my words myself instead of just getting my word processor to do it. Plus, I actually ran out of space and had to buy a second notebook. I'll have to buy more before the story is finished, but oh no, what a horrible, horrible tragedy for me, a person who loves buying notebooks. However, for me, the pros outweigh all those cons. Because it's a small, cute notebook from the dollar store, it was easy to just stick it in my backpack or whatever bag I was using to take with me to work. You can achieve the same thing with your phone since you probably always have your phone with you, but my problem there is that I hate writing on my phone. Short messages or texts are fine, but writing hundreds to thousands of words at a time? Absolutely not. Hell on earth. It was also nice because I often would be writing in the evening or right before I went to bed, and it meant I wasn't on a screen during that time. I'm really trying to cut down on how much time I spend looking at a screen right before bed, since I've heard that can mess with your sleep cycle. It'll be important for the post-writing process too, whenever I get around to that shit. I like to physically edit my work with a red pen and everything. That's the way I've had the most success in the past. Then I type the whole thing out again in the second draft because then I'm more likely to actually change the things that need changing instead of just tweaking things here and there. With the first draft in notebooks, that process becomes a lot easier. The main thing that was good about using a notebook, though, was that it really helped kill my inner editor. That's a big thing with NaNoWriMo. You really aren't supposed to edit your work until the whole thing is done. Because I was writing on paper instead of typing on a computer, it was a lot harder to just go back and change a few things here and there, which I would find easy to get lost in during previous Nano challenges. Number 2, write every day. Again, this is something that just isn't sustainable for a lot of people, and that's okay. It's not sustainable for me outside of Nano either. Case in point, I haven't written a single word for my project since Nano ended. I just need a break. But in every year prior to this one, I got about 5 days in and stopped. I tried to overwrite the first few days because I knew there would be days later on down the line where I wouldn't write much, if anything. And then I'd stop writing for a couple days because I had a buffer built up. It was fine, and I'd just never go back to it. I'd get upset that I'd broken my streak and wouldn't see the point anymore. You can see it on the stats page for every one of my projects that's still up on the site. This one is an outlier. I quit that one because the website I was using to write that year glitched and I lost an entire day's worth of writing on day 4 or something. Understandably, my motivation for that one tanked pretty fast. This year, I was determined that I would write every day, even if it wasn't very much, because at least then I was writing something. And it worked. I did write every day. Sure, some days I wrote more than others. Look at this, 55 words on the 26th, that's pathetic. But some words were written, and that's what matters. It's the writing equivalent of C's get degrees. Number 3, take breaks. This seems counterintuitive to what I just said, but if you don't let yourself take breaks to play Pathfinder, or go on walks with your brother, or listen to your favorite actual play podcast, you're going to burn out way faster. Writing a lot when I felt like writing a lot, and a little when I felt like playing Animal Crossing, is the only way I stayed sane this November. Hell, that's the reason my word count graph looks the way it does. I used to work at a gym, and I was a certified Zumba instructor for a little while. One of the most important things I took away from both of those is that you can't just be at a 10 out of 10 all the time. The gym I worked at was built on a circuit system, where you alternate 30 seconds at a high-intensity strength training machine and 30 seconds of low-intensity cardio. They also encouraged people to have rest days in between their workouts so they didn't overwork themselves or get hurt. Zumba had a similar philosophy. They told us to structure our classes so we had a high-intensity song followed by a lower-intensity song, then high-intensity again, and so on. By giving yourself a short period of rest or lower intensity, you're always moving forward, but you don't collapse at the end or partway through. Writing and art work the same way. By trying to have my entire month be at a 10, I would burn myself out of Nano pretty quickly and not be able to bring myself back into doing it. Same with art. I was so burnt out in July from trying to follow a strict schedule that I just stopped drawing for a while. By telling myself I did have to write something every day, but that it didn't have to be an entire 5-paragraph essay, I let myself have those rest days where I didn't worry as much, and that was a huge help. Number 4, let yourself suck. I'm going to be honest, no one else will ever read this draft of my work. Maybe my brother if I'm feeling particularly self-destructive and want to laugh at my old bad work together with him, but that's it. I went into Nano this year with the mindset of this being the worst, stupidest version of my story that was going to exist, and by God are some parts of it bad and stupid. But here's the thing. They're bad and stupid, but they're done. You can't edit something that doesn't exist. There were parts where I thought, oh, I'll have to change that in the next draft as I was writing them. There are scenes where I realized partway through that they don't actually have any real value and just stopped writing them partway through, put a page break, and moved on to the next scene. I realized partway through writing a chapter that I'd ended the previous chapter without doing the thing I'd specifically written that chapter to do, and I just shrugged and moved on like it had happened because goddammit, it's November 28th and I'm not going back and changing things now. And yeah, going back and rereading for the post-writing process is going to be a pain in the ass because it's going to be bad and cringe. There's next to no subtext, and I kind of stumbled into certain character traits, relationships, and plot points that I hadn't planned on. But it's fine. It's fine. Who cares? I'm not exactly submitting this to a publisher or anything. I'm literally just writing a first draft, and that's all it has to be. So yeah, that was my first NaNoWriMo win. I'll be honest, it was a lot. Now that I've done it once though, I'd really like to try it again. Using what I've learned from this win, I want to see if I can replicate those results. I'll be trying again in July for Camp Nano, probably continuing the same Precure fan series. Don't worry, I'll have more art and videos before then. Anyway, that's it from me for now. Tell me about your Nano experiences in the comments below. Have a good day or night or whatever it is where you are, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!